1 year ago, February 24th, 2022, an unimaginable tragedy of a cosmic scale happened. Russia started attacking Ukraine. Unexpectedly, no one thought it would ever happen. Well, very few people did. Gosh, no one. One man made the decision to attack Ukraine. One man took complete full responsibility in his speech on February 24th, 2022. He said that he made the decision. He was responsible. In the last 12 months, Russians have had many questions, and none of them have been answered over the entire year. There were many lies in the process, many human tragedies, many deaths, one mobilization. It's safe to say that 12 months later, after hundreds of thousands of people died and trillions of rubles lost, we are still in the dark concerning why Russia attacked Ukraine. And that one very same man decided to give a speech on February 24th, 2022, 23, 1 year later. And many of us hoped that there would be answers, there would be ideas, there would be explanations. Well, none were given. The speech that Vladimir Putin did was very lousy and boring. And instead of having answers and perhaps new direction or a plan of some kind, he made very weak points and very weak messages, ambiguous messages that most Russians didn't even notice. Well, I did. I studied the speech. I noticed the messages, and I will give them to you and will dare to share my opinion on what's going to happen with Russia next. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where I give you news updates on things that I find important that explain what's truly happening inside Russia now. What you will not find on this channel is fake news, propaganda, and BS. What you will find is logic, common sense, and truth. And lots of emotions, because I'm a human being. Inside Russia is where Usual Russia explained by the Unusual Russia. Unusual Russian. First 30 minutes I give you my daily message. And later, if you want, you can participate in the live stream chat, conversing, commenting, and asking questions. I would love that very, very much. Now, 12 months later of this terrible tragedy, like I said, we are in the very dark. We were hoping that something would be explained, something, perhaps some good news would be delivered by Putin. Some hoped for the end of the war. Some hoped that he would step down. Yes, there were people like that. Some hoped that, he wouldn't announce anything sinister. And I am very honest with you. I was hoping for the worst. I was hoping that he would escalate for one very simple reason. The way things are going for Russia right now, the way they have been going, not favorable. Actually, the way things are terribly bad. Because what happened, Russia advanced into Ukraine a long time ago, 12 months ago, and since July, it's been slowly but surely withdrawn, okay? Leaving the land it had conquered before and losing its positions. Moreover, Economically, Russia has been suffering. Military, Russia has been suffering. And Ukraine has been pumping muscles. Ukraine has had complete support of the West, many countries, and military support. In the latest news, Ukraine is getting tanks from three countries: Germany, the UK, and the United States. And you know what? The tanks might change status quo on the front lines. Ukrainians are also asking for F 16s. If they get it, airspace being locked will change everything. That's going to be the win of the war. So Russia hasn't been doing exactly fantastic in Ukraine. And Putin has been on Tsuntswang for quite some time. I've been saying that a few times, quite a few times, often. Meaning any move he makes would places him into a bad situation, worse situation than he's now. So I was thinking that he was going to deliver a message, not a message, but inform us on his decision, a big one. He would try to change things around completely. He would try to break out of this situation, the Zugzwang, And his message delivered nothing like that. It was boring. It was lots of fluff, lots of blah, blah, blah. And I was excited. I was very positively surprised. I was shocked because I didn't find any escalation. Fantastic news. Then I started, going over his message, studying it. I examined it at the very same day under microscope, made a stream about that. And I found that the message, his speech consisted of quite a few messages. And I studied the messages for 2 days, and this is what I've come up with. I'm going to explain you how I see them. Although Putin's speech was not the strongest, was not, nicely delivered, it definitely was interesting from a domestic point of view because he hinted, willingly or unwillingly, I don't know, quite a few things. In these things, I would like to go deeper. I made a few notes. Unfortunately, something happened to them and they were not saved. Anyway, I still remember. They're in my head. Vladimir Putin introduced the idea of a completely new political system in Russia. As you know, if you follow my channel, I've spoken on how Russia is organized politically. The politicians who have been in power, are old, and they have been in power in their positions for a very long time. Some of them, most of them, for 20 plus years. So Russia is becoming the same. Russian political elite is becoming same as old Politburo and the Central Committee of Communist Party of the USSR. Kind of like starts reminding. And Vladimir Putin he sent a message that a new lift, political lift, probably the right word, the new political lift will be introduced and already is being introduced. In other words, new people will be brought to power. And the emphasis will be on people who have taken part in the special military operation. That's how Putin still sometimes calls the war in Ukraine, and sometimes he calls this war. Well, in his speech, he called it special military operation. He didn't call it war. So people Well, it makes perfect sense. If Putin he thinks that if he was for the long run, like right now, he's allowed to remain the president, to be elected a few more times until 2034. Okay, he's an old guy, but if he planned to stay in power for 11 more years, this would make a perfect sense, because look what happens now. People who surround him, his foundation of the state, all of them are corrupt. All of them, all they care is money. All of them have certain values, and they value money more than anything. All of them are fat, so to speak, fat old cats. He is going to bring new people from the very bottom, from dirt, people who were mobilized and thrown in the front lines of the war with Ukraine. People who were indoctrinated at a very young age, who were brainwashed at the front lines, who were brainwashed in the army. They come back and they will be given opportunities for easy social lift, for easy career advancement in the Russian government. So therefore, Putin would replace political elite, not elite, but political class, with people who loyal to him, the master. People who would give it a personal idea, personal goal to serve him, because he gave them this opportunity. Okay, so the old fat cats would be replaced with younger, but very eager to serve him, personally devoted to him. Okay, that would have been perfect if Vladimir Putin believed that he would remain in power until 2034. But I'm pretty sure he knows he will not. Okay, well, anyway, he introduced this system, and I think it will be happening in Russia. And I think that whoever comes next after Vladimir Putin will certainly take advantage of this system. Moving on, Vladimir Putin hinted, or sent a message, not a strong one, but enough to believe that the educational system in Russia will be changed. Soviet Union had fantastic educational system, but Soviet Union collapsed, and Russians started looking to the West, and they took lots of things from the West, including how education was organized. But the West turned out to be rotten. The values of the West turned out to be rotten. And educational system, of course, is no good. So now Russia needs to go back to the old Soviet system. And this message actually falls perfectly with the previous message about new social lift. These people who will be coming back, well, actually, the changes already been happening. This message is not new to me, because there have been talks for the past 9 months to bring people from the war who served in the war so they could become teachers, so they could teach physical education, they could teach patriotic classes, and starting September 1st, a huge change in the educational system took place. Mandatory patriotic lessons. If your child does not attend, a teacher or a school principal might give a call to the agency saying, hey, I think these parents of this kid, they're not trustworthy. They need to be checked upon. And there actually have been cases where KGB would come and speak to the parents, and I think 1 or 2 occasions they were prosecutions. Perhaps not felonies, but misdemeanors, administrative prosecutions. So the educational system will be changed. Another message: we are not guilty. We are not the ones who started the war. The West. The West turned out to be rotten. We thought at first they were friends. Then we thought they were not friends but partners. But now we see clearly that the West is rotten. That are Satanists, Nazi, um, Nazi culture, and basically is no good bombs. We in Russia did not start the war, but we use force to stop it. That's literally what Putin said. And he talked quite a bit about the West and how rotten the West is. Again, this is a message to Russian people. It's nothing new. He's talked bits and pieces, and not just him. He kind of like gives the tone, and then all the Russian officials going down in the vertical of power speak about that in exactly same words. The West is not good. The West is rotten. There are Nazis in the West, and so forth. Moving on, another message. The oppressions and prosecutions are coming. No way we live without them in the future. None other than Vladimir Putin told us that Russian people are good. But some who sidestep, they need to think what they're doing. But some of the Russians who don't support us, meaning the government, aka who don't support the motherland, they are betraying their country. They are traitors. The ones who left the country, and they're traitors. And the traitors will be prosecuted according to the law. Well, this is nothing new. I was a little surprised to hear it in such official message. The problem is that I've been hearing it, we all have been hearing it, and we have been discussing it among ourselves, everywhere, in the chats, in the breakfast club, in person. What's going to happen to us? Are we traitors merely for leaving Russia? Well, in the eyes of Russian government, yes, we are, because we must not leave Russia at this hard time. So we will be prosecuted. In the prosecution, it's not clear what kind of prosecution will be taking place. There have been voices about the prosecution ranging from just seizing all assets and property of a person who left and putting dirt upon Russia, meaning not supporting Russian government, not supporting war in Ukraine. That's considered putting dirt onto the motherland. Two pretty strong stuff, killing, using death squads that go abroad and kill people abroad, that's been said by a Russian member of Russian parliament, which I consider that's very official and very strong. And it's scary. It's really scary. Vladimir Putin confirmed that there will be oppressions. They're coming. Russian economy. I think that's something that Vladimir Putin, one of his strongest messages, but it was very vague, so vague that few people understood that. You see, he didn't say anything. Of course, he said that the Russian economy is going strong, okay? He said that the Russian economy is, fantastic. That's a lie, because Russian economy isn't going strong. It's not fantastic. Russian economy is actually going down big time. Second month in a row, February, we're having a budget deficit of pretty cosmic proportion. If you call it doing fine, then it's doing fine, I guess, but it's not. But he kind of confirmed. He said that it's doing fine directly, but indirectly, he confirmed it's far from fine. You see, when last year, when Russia attacked Ukraine, there was a huge wave in propaganda, patriotism calls, so to speak. There were like this entire state patriotic machine. It was aimed at Russian people, brainwashing them, saying, look, you must, we all must unite. We all must fulfill our duties. And don't you worry about the ones who are fallen, about their families, or about the ones, if they get disabled, if they get wounded. The government is going to take care of them. We promise. There was two kinds of aid, financial aid. First, federal level. There were certain payments allocated from the Russian budget. And then the governors of every province, they volunteered to pay extra. And the payments, they reached, I would say, astronomical amounts for Russians. I've heard one of the provinces would be paying as much as 17 million rubles to the families of the fallen ones. 17 million is $260,000 at this, 250, depending on the exchange rate, dollar to ruble. That's a lot of money for a Russian family, especially the one is not rich, is poor, right? That's astronomical. Over the past 12 months, there have been rumors on and off that the government does not deliver promises and does not pay. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it delays, and so forth. There was a huge budget increase in social programs, not marked, but they were just called social programs and other social programs. You pay single mothers from the budget, you pay orphans and things like that. These are social programs. And one of the new ones was added at the end of last year. It was called other social programs. And people guess that money allocated to a huge amount, in billions of rubles, showing that there are so many died. And that number varies from what the Ministry of Defense said, okay? So if we assume that that's for the fallen ones, the amount is huge, cosmic. And if there will be more victims, more wounded people, more disabled people, the spendings will be growing. So what Putin said, very vague, very indirectly, was that the victims, the families will be getting paid from the funds. From the funds. He didn't explain what funds, he didn't say anything, but from the funds. Perhaps this is the very first sign that the government is trying to dodge its promise to pay the ones who have been affected, died, take care of their families financially or so forth. Because instead of paying directly from the budget, it might switch payments, put this burden onto a certain funds. Perhaps it will make a special funds for that within the Russian government. But what I think is going to happen is the burden will be put on local businesses. Perhaps it could be extra tax. Perhaps it's going to be certain payments, like sort of license payments, fixed payments that businesses would have to come up with. But I think this is very, very strong message, although delivered in such an indirect way that Putin wants to offset burden that the government carries for the fallen ones, and basically for the affected ones. This indirectly shows that Russian economy is far, far from perfect, far from doing really good. He contradicts himself, okay? He says that Russian is fine, Russian economy is fine. It's only fallen by 2.1%, which is a lie. It's fallen more. But then he contradicts himself. But that's a very, very strong message. Another message is also an indirect one, but it shows the poor state of Russian military-industrial complex. And it kind of gives food for thought for very long-term predictions on how this war will be played out. Putin said, he mentioned, it was not even a message, he mentioned in one of the sentences that Russian military-industrial complex, Russian military enterprises have been working 3 shifts, day and night, to provide everything that the military force needs. Basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you engage all capabilities, industrial capabilities in the country, and if you overdrive them into 3 shifts, like they usually do in wars, well, Russia is at war with Ukraine. So, and I believe that they work in 3 shifts, and I believe that number of people have doubled or tripled. It means that currently you are working at the very top capacity of your capabilities. There's no more. You need to build new factories. But you know what? How much time it's going to take? Years. Okay? That's not an easy thing. Considering amount of Russian professionals, engineers, builders, doctors, you name it, over 3 million people left. Consider that as a huge blow. How are they going to do that? How are they going to create, if they decide to create new capabilities? By forcing people, by mandating job, like, you going to work and stuff like that. But the thing is, he's saying that the Russian military-industrial complex is giving everything Russian forces need by working at the highest capacity. But the rumors have it that Russian army lacks everything. It lacks munition, it lacks artillery, it lacks heavy machinery, it lacks, equipment, it lacks bulletproof vests, clothing, it lacks everything. And yet, Russian military-industrial complex is working at full capacity. That is, I think it was not intentional in his speech. I don't know whether it's possible or not, but I think it was not intentional. It was kind of like a patriotic bravado, but it shows the real state of sadness of supplying Russian army with everything it needs in Ukraine. So this is huge. Nuclear treaty. I was waiting for this message for a very long time, for almost 2 hours, and I knew that he was going to deliver something really important at the end. And that was the nuclear treaty. And I thought, wow, this is it. And as I was hearing it. But I can't say that he disappointed me, but thank goodness he said what he said, because he could have said so much worse. He could have escalated. He could have, called for patriotic war. He could have called for complete mobilization of the economy, of people, and things like that. So instead, he simply said that Russia is putting its participation in nuclear treaty on hold. Pausing. Well, you know what? There's nothing new here. It's not news. And he did not make this decision, before his speech. Russia has been talking about that. I remind you, this treaty was signed by President Medvedev and Obama, who met. They actually had a very nice, happy meeting. I remember that. It was televised everywhere, and they signed. It was the last agreement in a series of agreement that stopped the nuclear race. And boy, it felt good back in 2010. But now, since the start of the war with Ukraine, Russia decided to not follow it. And it has been doing it for the past months, okay? And now Putin just said about that in his meeting, in his speech, I'm sorry. And then that's it. That's it. So it was not news. It was definitely news to Russia's foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov, considering his reaction when he heard that. His face changed because he's the guy responsible for these documents. Vladimir Putin, I think someone convinced him to, put this into the speech at the very last minute, since Lavrov didn't know about that. And it shows you that he did not have the message at all. His entire speech had been prepared as blah, blah, blah talk. Now, you heard the speech, you might have heard it. But what you didn't hear is what happened the day after, yesterday. Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs have started sending messages that, wait a second, we are not stopping participating in this treaty. We are simply putting it on pause. But we can come back to it at any time. If there's a goodwill from the opposition, from the opposing side, the United States, we will resume. It's not a big deal. So you see, his message is just there's much ado about nothing. It might sound good for the Russians who, drank a little bit before his message and not assessing the situation right, and then not understanding very well what they're hearing. So to them, perhaps it was a tour de force. It sounded like tour de force, but in reality, it wasn't. It was a complete BS, my friends. Now, moving on. Just this message, this weak message that at the very end of his speech was supposed to be the deal breaker, shows you that the entire speech was much ado about nothing. Moving on. He gave a clear message, sent a clear message to some rich people who are outside of Russia, who left Russia right after February 24th, and who have been residing outside Russia. Some oligarchs. We know who they are. There are very few of them. They decided not to participate in this circus, and they decided to leave. And they remain. Of course, they have most of their assets frozen. There are lawsuits right now, and they've been stripped. And Putin addressed them directly, his buddies. He said, "We know that some people have lost everything in the West, and yet they're still residing there. Well, listen to me. Russian people do not approve, could care less if you lost your yachts, your palaces, but come back. Do business in Russia. It's still possible. Nothing's going to happen to you, but you must do business inside Russia and invest into Russia, meaning keep all your money in Russia." And this message was funny, but it was not directed at Russian people, at regular folks. It was directed at a few friends of Vladimir Putin, and that was basically it. Hang on. Well, the other messages were fairly insignificant. There were some other ones, but the ones I find significant, I've just told you. Don't worry too much about the messages, okay? Like I said, most of them were not strong enough. Okay, they were not news to us. It seemed like Putin had to come in front of people and say something, and he didn't know what. And I understand his position perfectly well because it really was like that because he was in Zunzwang. Zunzwang is what you don't know what to do. But let me examine what Zunzwang in this case is. Because I say this word. Now, imagine this. You are in the middle, and there are two forces. One force behind, one force in front of you. You have to go either ahead or backwards, and you cannot go either way. The force backwards is people, patriotic society. There are millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people at home who you cannot backtrack to. And if you do, they will destroy you overnight because you messed up. You show that you made a mistake that cost hundreds of thousands of people their lives, cost trillions of rubles to Russian economy, cost trillions of probably even more than hundreds of trillions of wealth to Russian oligarchs, to wealthy people. And why did you start attacking Ukraine if you come back with nothing? If you have nothing to show as victory, oh, then you made a mistake. Oh, you're a criminal, Bada boom, bada boom, you're done. So he cannot go back. He cannot say, hey, we end this war. Why did you start it? What did you achieve in the last 12 months? He absolutely cannot go back. But he cannot go forward because he doesn't have resources. The front lines are not moving. Russian troops withdrawing in some directions, and they cannot take an inch of Ukrainian land because the plain and simple, people are getting tired, people getting killed, very little equipment. All equipment they have is very low tech, old from the USSR. There's nothing new has been invented in Russia in the past 30 years. And they're facing very strong army of bunch of patriots in Ukraine, regular people who just took up arms to fight for their land, their families, okay? They are driven by the idea. Who are Russians driven by? Low morale is the word on the Russian side, So Ukrainians are supplied with top weapons from the West, okay? That's why Russians cannot advance. That's why they withdraw. So Putin cannot go forward. He would love to, but he can't. And he cannot backtrack. He's stuck in the middle. That's Zugzwang. So his message was actually, now enough about these messages. Let's talk about what the whole speech means in terms of, Russia and what's next. First of all, a couple observations. His speech is very strange. When I said it's fluff and blah, 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 I started thinking, why? Why does it appear to make this impression of fluff and blah, blah, blah? One simple reason. Upon examining, I am pretty sure that this speech was written by different people at different times. There was not one person who put all this speech together and edited it, but there were some fragments just put together. That's why he was jumping from one topic to another. There was not clear message. There was not clear structure to his speech. Okay, it seemed like, well, I'm pretty sure it's not the individuals who writing the parts of his speech, but members of power groups that struggle for power. Inside Russian government. That makes sense. That makes sense because different messages were sent by different groups, right? And it shows few things, and now it gets very important. The very first thing, the very first and strongest observation, Putin has lost control. He's lost the grip of the situation. From younger Putin, who delivered great speeches with strong messages, who was always in control. No one could contradict him. No one could argue with him. If someone would frame him like he would say one thing and it turns out there's a wrong statistic or the lie in his speech, that person or agency would suffer greatly, and this punishment would make public. Okay, in his speech he lied 6 times. My previous stream, I told you the breakdown. No one cares. He doesn't care. Okay, no actions are taken against those who framed him by giving him wrong statistics. His audience was always on tiptoes, catching every single word Putin was saying. Well, guess what happened to the audience during his speech? People were falling asleep. And you know what? The next following day, nothing happened to them. They weren't talked to, they weren't ridiculed, they weren't bashed, nothing. Like it was normal. To Putin, it is normal because he has lost the grip. He has fallen under the influence of power groups. They are tearing his power apart. They want power to themselves. When I said in a couple streams, a couple days ago in a stream, I mentioned right before the speech, I named it Putin will change Russia forever after 21/02/2023. And in my humble opinion, Putin did change because he showed us that he has become too weak to be in charge. The game is on. I am absolutely pretty sure that this message was understood not just by me, but by many other people. You see, there are very few people in the know. I think the ones who prepared the message, and they probably knew of their parts. They didn't know of entire complete messages. Okay? But those people in the audience who you saw were sitting and falling asleep, they didn't know. They were expecting the messages. You see their reaction. Lavrov, when he heard about Russia, Putin on hold as NV2, he was the guy who was in charge of, that's his department, look at the reaction. They wanted answers. They wanted the idea. They wanted new ideology. They wanted to know what's next. And Putin failed to deliver that. There's no strong leadership. That's the biggest conclusion from his speech. Look at people like Sobyanin, Kadyrov, Prigozhin, his top assistants. He relies on them very much. They weren't even there. The private jet of Ramzan Kadyrov flew to Abu Dhabi on January 17th. Abu Dhabi. So he just basically decided not to attend. In the past, that's impossible. Guess who else was missing? Two top generals, Surovikin and Gerasimov, the ones who are leading Russian special military operation. This, to me, a huge, strong message that something is rotten in the kingdom of Dutch. And people, they don't really care so much, they ignore. Okay? And they create their own private armies. Tomorrow's stream will be about how private armies created and waging wars onto each other right now, and what it means for Russian power struggle and for Putin. Please come back and watch the stream tomorrow. To me, it shows that Putin has basically signed his own verdict. He's not going to be a leader of Russia for much longer. I don't know for how long, but definitely he is on his way out. Now, what's going to happen with Russia? in general. This is just my opinion, okay? And again, I derive my opinion from what I heard yesterday and put in some analysis into it. There are two major areas. One is external and one is internal. Well, external meaning Russia is a part of world's community, international community, and Russian-Ukrainian war. In terms of Russia being part of international community, it's no more. It's already no more. It's been isolated. It's been an island in many ways, and this isolation has been growing. Very, very plain and simple. I don't see any possible improvements in this department. War with Ukraine. Russia cannot move further. Russia has been storming Bakhmut for about 7 months now, and that cannot take it. It just shows you how strong Russian army is and how fast and how deep it can get into Ukrainian territory. By the way, Russian officials have announced 3 times that Bakhmut has been taken over, and every time turned out to be a lie. They're still fighting over Bakhmut. Now, it is a very clear understanding now that Russian army lacks many things: arms, equipment, rockets, and I will talk more about that. There's evidence. Before it was just talks, now there's evidence that Russian army lacks, and I'll give you the facts. And it simply cannot push forward. As for the Ukrainian army, Ukrainians are not superhumans either. They're regular people who took up arms to go and fight for their country. But Russia is so much bigger than Ukraine in terms of people. Now, Ukraine is getting lots of money from the Western countries, and it's getting a lot of equipment. But Russia, it cannot provide people, human beings. It's just Ukrainians. There's a certain number who can be mobilized and sent to fight. And in Russia, the numbers are much, much bigger. So Ukrainian army is much more advanced and developed. And the Russian army is much bigger in terms of in terms of people. And what happens is invest and nicht Neues. Same thing as happened in World War I between France and Germany. There was a huge front line and people weren't moving anywhere. They were just, both countries were right next to each other, killing each other, and that's it, not moving anywhere. That's the same thing. That might be happening with Russia and Ukraine until something radical happens. Until most likely Ukraine will get F-16 or some kind of a planes. That basically Ukraine needs a game changer. If it gets air superiority, then the war would be over. Okay, so this situation, invest in nicht Neues, will be lasting for quite a long time. The bad news is people will be dying in numbers, on both sides, in Ukrainian side, in Russian side. The good news, there will be no nuclear war. There will be no use of tactical nuclear weapons, strategical nuclear weapons, nothing like that, And from Russian side, there would not be escalation. That could lead even to more deaths on both sides, okay? And that's what's happening externally. Internally, oh my God, the picture is so different. Internally, there will be already is a storm. The storm we start seeing, again, watch my stream tomorrow about private armies. Before, we just had rumors about the storm, about different political forces within Russian government trying to take power. But now we start seeing they delivering such a weak message, much ado about nothing, fluff and blah blah blah, showed that he has lost the grip and the power is up for the grabs. And there will be attempts to grab. So get popcorn, sit back, and watch Russia getting reformatted in the following, I dare to say, months. That's my opinion, but hey, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. This has been my message for today. Before I turn on the comments, I would like you to comment what you think. If you have questions, you're welcome to answer. You're welcome to ask, and I will try to answer. Before I turn on the comments, I would like to ask you a few favors. First one is please help spread my message by sharing on your social media accounts. That helps me a lot. If you find what I said today interesting, would you please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel so you will get more updates like this. And please sign up for my Telegram channel called Inside Konstantin's Russia. The link will be down below in the description after the stream is ended. This is where I keep updating you on, making announcements and keep updating you on what's happening on the channel. Please join, continue watching and join the live stream chat. I really would love that. So turning on the comments. Thank you so very much. I can't quite believe that all my bullets I made, my notes, they disappeared. It's crazy. If you're not seeing the chat, please refresh your pages and you will see them, just like what I'm doing right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a very long message, not easy to make, not easy to research. Took me quite some time. So I would really appreciate if you hit the like button. Thank you. First thing I see is Jenna Strawhall. Excellent stream from Canada. Thank you so much. Lorna, Mommy Black Cat. Thank you very much. Great to see you. Thank you, friends. Amir, Bob, and Harry. I don't see them, but I'm pretty sure they will be joining a little bit later. Thank you so much for watching my back every day. We have the best mods on the channel in the entire universe, and that is truth. Welcome usual suspects. Great to see everyone. Great to see such a large audience and new faces. Welcome. This is a great community. I hope you like it here. If you want me to see your comment, please put it in caps and put Inside Russia after @ so it jumps into my eyes in a large orange box. Thank you so much. It's going to be easy. It's going to be much easier for me to notice because there are many messages. And I usually read and answer only the ones in caps and with orange boxes. We have a new sponsor, Rainer Blessing. Welcome to Inside Russia. Thank you so much. Michael Yukon, hello from Las Vegas. Good message. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Tomorrow message will be continuation of today's message. I will speak of private armies. I will speak of private war company, military company Wagner. I will speak of the new army that Ramzan Kadyrov is assembling. I will speak of different armies. There are many private armies, turns out to be in Russia, and how they fight one another. And they fight the Ministry of Defense, official Russian army. So it's going to be worth listening. Tupla Lusto, hello from Finland. Howdy, howdy. Mr. Kaliskin from Chicago. Mary McCann, do you think Putin believes his own version of events himself? I have hard time to believe that. He's either has lost it, or he's either misinformed, or he's either just sending the message with his that he doesn't believe in with his like agenda. But I really have hard time to believe that he believes what he says. Julie W, excellent message, especially with no noise. Notes. Thank you so much. The notes are in my head because, I was researching and there's just Putin. It's easier for me to kind of like stay on course. I just look up on the stream for a second and that's it. I don't read off the screen. But this time, it's been tough. Jason Carney coming back with a bang again. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate your huge support from me and my wife. Thank you so very much. John Wakamatsu from Los Angeles. Format Russia. Sounds interesting. Well, I didn't say format Russia. I said reformatting. Like you reformat a flash memory. Russia, I think, is getting reformatted because the old format is, it's old. It's over. It's not functioning well anymore. Caesars, Kostya, Natasha, they are saying on TV they have taken Bakhmut. Natasha, why every other city in Ukraine is called Bakhmut? This is funny. I can understand them lie. I understand they probably want everyone to believe, but the thing is, what I don't understand is why don't get prosecuted for getting caught red-handed lying. Okay, why nothing happens to the person who lies? Why isn't he at least fired? Okay, no. Oh, you said Bakhmut was taken, and it's no big deal. We'll say it tomorrow. It's taken. And nothing happens to these people. That's what I completely don't understand. It's like we're living in a different reality, which is kind of crazy. Jason Carney has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Jason, again. Stefan Baptist. Best wishes. You are much a victim as Ukrainians are. You have basically lost your home and your country. I have lost my country, yes. Have lost my home, yes. It's a sad topic, I don't want to talk about that. It's sad enough that I sit here and just grieve. Ryan Williams, you have to go back and study insult to blah 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 for 2 days again. Ryan, I don't understand why. What you meant by that message. Scott Nesbitt says 50,000 people in here. I don't think so, but nice. So 4,500. Patty from Oregon, howdy. Faith Russard, howdy. DJ, thank you. I've tried. Vero Beach in the house, upstate New York. Carmen. David Porter from Ukraine. David, hello. Please say hello to your family and, I don't even know what to ask you to say to people of Chernovtsi. Just tell them that, we're praying for them. That's all. Jeffrey S., what is the name of the storm? Not sure what you mean. You did great without notes. Thank you, Amir. Good evening from Germany, Multi-Daki. Sam K in Orange Box. Glad you're well. Thank you so much. Yes, Sam, I did see this message. The Orange Box, trust me, it just, kind of jumps right into my eyes. 777 Danny, thank you so much for your support. You're from Europe somewhere, I see. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Hostile Respite, I love this reformatting metaphor. It's clear that Russia has a corrupted operating system. Yep. It's gonna get reformatted, and I hope the new operating system comes clean and without viruses. That's a funny message from Eric Miller. I saw your last Big Mac video today, and it made me go to McDonald's for the first time in years. Eric, that video that I remember I made, it was like another life. Because back then, everything worked. Back then, everything was fine in Russia. I mean, Russia had just attacked days before, but still, everyone was in shock, but everything was kind of like normal. And McDonald's was the second. First was IKEA. I think March 3rd or March 4th. It simply said, well, you know what, we're closing doors after tomorrow. And they didn't believe first, but then it did close the doors after, the following couple days. And McDonald's was second. One day it was working fine, and the next day they said, you know what, we're closing the doors tomorrow. Just like that. And everyone's like, they're not going to do that. All they care about is money. They're going to lose so much sales. And, well, you know what, they closed the doors. And that video is very emotional. Gonna be 1 year since I made it. Very soon. Incredible. Steven Lindholm, Constantine, feel you didn't lose your country. Your country's leadership abandoned the people of Russia. Steven, my feeling is different. You see, my feeling is I've been chewed up and spit out by my country. But I'm lucky one because I've been spit out. I could have come up with a different an opposite hole, so to speak. Sorry for being a little rude, and that would be a much worse situation. But that's how I feel. I feel like I've lost it. Some old dude, thank you so much for giving sponsorship to 5 people. Your nickname is pretty cool. Natasha was watching the stream, and I think you either gave me a super chat or you gave sponsorship to people. And I said, some old dude, thank you. And Natasha thought I was insulting you. I said, look, this is the name. This is a nickname of a channel. So thank you so much, Luke. I will come back to your question in a second. Dragon's Eye 2020, thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Pie in the chair, thank you. You have any idea who will replace Putin? Army man or a politician or oligarch? No, not at this point. I know one thing, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be the man unknown to us at this point, who's going to appear at the very last moment. The suspects right now who we think might be replacing him will not replace. There will be someone just appearing, just like Putin appeared 3 months before becoming the president. No one knew who Putin was before, It was a small-time guy. The same kind of guy is going to be the new president of Russia. Frank Mueller, thank you so much. I appreciate your messages, and I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some old dude, what do you think? The big spring offensive of the Putin army is already going on? No. I think it will not happen. They simply don't have resources. All bluff. Okay? We will see, of course, but I think no. So mark my words. Michael Yukon. They will try, but it's just they don't have enough bullets. Come on, what kind of offensive are you talking about? They need to prepare to defend their positions, not to think about the offensive. Because Ukrainians will be waging offensive. Michael Yukon. After watching speech a few times, I suddenly felt it was pieced together, not as planned. I feel perhaps Biden popping up in Kyiv have taken a toll. Michael, I perhaps didn't deliver my message well, but that's exactly what I said. Same thing. It was made by different people at different times. And they weren't even aware that some people were making other parts. Okay. And someone took it and just pieced it together. That's what I thought. And that's what I said. KG1, Xi Jinping supposed to make speech tomorrow about situation in Ukraine. Could be a game changer either way. It could be. I am watching closely. China has been very active in the last days. Let me speak once I acknowledge the super chats. Let me speak about that. Noob comment. Thank you so much for being deep inside Russia member for such a long time. So there was a message from Luke King. I see. I couldn't agree more with you. My concern with a weak speech is that will only encourage my wolves to come take a nip at Russia. I look forward to tomorrow's message and I will check online to buy a popcorn maker. Thank you for your message and thanks for the support, Luke. Thank you. Not Magnus Carlson. Please begin writing a memoir of your life and experiences during this time. Thank you, I have been. I'm sure a book publisher will buy you a book when this is over. My friend, thank you so much for your support. I have been writing the book, 3 chapters so far, and it's about how I fled Russia and what's going on here in Tashkent. So many different stories, so many good characters. I've been making a movie. I've been recording videos, 3 interviews with 3 families down, 3 chapters. I need at least 3 more interviews for the movie, and I need God knows how many chapters. It's moving so freaking slow. I'm sorry. I thought it'd be done by the end of the year, but I guess not. Thank you so much for the suggestion, but it's in the works. Eric, inside Russia, you deserve the Pulitzer Prize. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I don't think I deserve it. I just speak what's in my heart. That's all. Jesus Christ follower. Hi, brother. Thank you very much. Derek from Czech Republic. Is it true that Russians are forced to work? No, not Czech Republic. Derek CZ. You're from the USA, right? Is it true that Russians are forced to do their work to go to the rallies and concerts? Their videos online show people having to sign documents outside to prove that they were there for... Yes, that is true. Otherwise, who would attend them? That is very true. People who work for the government, paid by the government. Remember, I've been saying, how can government control people? Plain and simple. If it pays you, if it's your employer, it tells you what to do. Oh, you will keep your job if you do this and this, if you go to a rally, if you go to a concert. Of course, there's a person, you go and you check, I've been here. Just like old demonstrations in the USSR, kind of same thing, only worse. And students obliged to go and just rotten, York Asmussen, thank you so very much. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Black Cat, mama, sorry for spamming. My mama it's her birthday today, so 23rd. Last year I made a very nice stream. It was very warm in Rostov, fantastic day. Our whole family, well, not whole, but good part of our family got together. We celebrated, then we went for a walk. I streamed, it was nice. The next day, boom, war began. I still remember that time. Just fucking tragedy. I was late, 3 a.m, writing for YouTube something, and Lorna all of a sudden emailed me, said, look, they closed airspace in Rostov. I said, Can't be. I mean, and then I looked Russian news. Yeah, so Lorna was the one who notified me the first. I went to sleep. I woke up at 8. Sure enough, Russia's bombing Ukraine. Ryan Williams, hope this helps with the pain and suffering from studying insult to blah blah blah. Your new country is the Russian diaspora all over the world. That's true. You suffer together and build your future together. That's true. Let me share a little bit about that. Friend of mine, who I worked with for 20 plus years, who I've known, came over to look at the markets of Uzbekistan, the energy market. And, he stayed with me and we had conversations. And I introduced him to the social club that we have, the breakfast club. And he went last Saturday, last Sunday. Actually, he liked it so much. We went to have breakfast there every single morning while he was staying with me. He said that Ukrainians are doing the same thing in Europe. They have support groups, like a few thousand people get together, and it's a tight community, and it's called differently, like, I don't know, but it's the same thing that we're doing here. So my next thing, I've been talking to him, somehow connect our support groups and, share our experiences and take what we're doing to the next level. I don't know how to do it, but at least I gave him some food for thought, and we'll see what happens. There are quite a few Ukrainians I found here, a little community, the ones who fled war, and they are working at a local energy company, and hopefully they will join us this Sunday or perhaps next Sunday, but it's growing. It's growing. I really am glad to see it's growing. So thank you so much for acknowledging. Some old dude, is there any more news about black billboards appearing all over Moscow? They disappeared as fast as they appeared. Well, not much I can say. I don't know. There are no more. Michael Yukon, I don't believe China will do much but offer words as they have their own agenda. Economics will prevent them from going full support. Well, Michael, I think you're right. I think they're playing their own game, and it's not clear to me, it's not understood at this point what the actions will be, but I guess it's their next turn after their balloons were shut down by the USA. They must act somehow, so they're acting this way. But you're absolutely right. They're bound by economics, and it'll prevent them from going full blown. So thank you. Thank you so much. Ryan Williams. Okay, I already read that. Nicole Lauren, thank you so much. You are amazing. I appreciate the support and I appreciate the message. Mine ever. I have only one question. Do you think there will be a civil war inside Russia? Let me answer tomorrow because I'm going to give it a thought. It's a very tough question to answer, you see. I hope not, of course. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll tune in tomorrow, We'll see what happens. Well, at least I'll give you my opinion. I gotta think and research and basically not research. There's not much to research, but do lots of thinking. Jeffrey S., happy birthday to Mama Samoilov, the pretty one. Now we're temporarily 15 years apart, but still no issue. Mr. K, will your book include a chapter on usual suspects? Better believe it. It'll include a chapter about this community, and it'll include a chapter about the mods and the usual suspects. One on moderator's dedication. Yes. This book is going to be about my life and the life of people around me who I have been seeing. The stories I have seen here. I'm 46 years old. And I thought that I have, if I had seen everything in my life that can be seen. I went through lots of things. I went, you know, I was thinking, what else there that I haven't seen, I haven't done? Well, it turns out that I was just an amateur 1 year ago. The tragedies, the victories, the triumphs of spirit that I saw here, I've been seeing here in Uzbekistan for the past 5 months are just unfreaking believable. You know, I pray to God that I can express well on the paper what I have been seeing. But the thing is, feeling and seeing is so much different than writing about it, okay? So, oh, Jeffrey, thank you so much. My mom is watching. I said that I will definitely say that you said hello and said happy birthday. Thank you so much. Viking, can you visit from China have changed Putin's speech somehow? I don't know. That I don't know. Harry might be flying. Um, well, if Harry is flying, then you know what? He shouldn't be tuning in and moderating. Let him fly. Elsha, you held me spellbound. Elsha, I'm ashamed, but I don't understand what this phrase means. I will translate it right now. You held me spellbound. Hang on real quick. I'll take a pause. Speaking so much is not easy, you know. Zavarashil. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elsha. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Pacific Beach, Charlie B. Howdy, howdy. Norway, Methalek. Simon, something is rotten in Denmark and not in the Netherlands. Yeah, that's what I said. Something is rotten in the kingdom of Denmark. Air Force USA. Whoa! Hey, are you gonna send those F-16s to Ukraine? Constantine, great message. Thank you so much. Lawrence Mitchell. My gut tells me Prigozhin is on the way out. Stay away from Windows, Chief. Or Chef. Chief, I think. Lawrence. My gut feeling is telling me that Prigozhin is a dead man walking. Gabriel Olivieri, thank you so much for nice words. I am glad that you find it similar to your opinion. The Gulf Coast of Texas, Corpus Christi, enjoy the truth. Thank you so much, Harold. Thank you. Matt Studding, Constantine, huge respect from Israel. Thanks for your, thank you so much, friend. Our club includes people from Israel. Two of them. One of them is a good friend. We walk in the morning before I go to the club. You know, we just go and speak English. They ask me to speak English with them, so they, learn a little bit. So we do a little exercise for about 40 minutes, and then go to the cafe, have breakfast. That's a new thing we have. But I am connected. I'm not a Jew myself, but I'm connected with Israel quite tightly. Holy be Jesus, I'm living in a Germany oblast. um, Jaina, thank you so much. Do you think it was Putin at the concert? And were people leaving right after? I don't think I saw the reports that people came, checked, we've been here, we've done that, and started leaving before Putin even came. But what do you expect from people? Do you expect them to say and like applaud and go, if they're forced to come, that's what you get. Brian, hey professor, another great lecture. Thank you so much. Nikki87, could China have told Putin to hold back for the peace speech that China is doing 24th? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. The fact that Putin spoke to a diplomat is an insult to Putin, by the way. That's how Chinese are showing the world, hey, look, we sent diplomats to talk to Putin, not our leader speaking to the leader, but our lower ones, the diplomats. And it's like a slap into Putin's face. I don't know if he understands that or not, but Mary, I think I answered your question. Do you think Putin believes his own version? Ron, thank you for your support. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Sarah, howdy. Rayvesh, hello from Argentina. Whoa, Argentina's in the house. Hello, my friend. A long way from here. In the end, you did not say what happened with the concert. Nothing. Nothing happened in the concert. He just came. He said, "Well, happy Army Day," and that's it. It's complete BS. It's not even worth mentioning, Bambar from Slovenia, thank you so much. Brother Randall, very strong and clear message as always. Thank you so much, brother. Veronica, Konstantin, if Ukraine can manage to make their own long-range weapons that will reach inside Russia, then maybe it will wake them up. Who, Russians? Well, Russia's been reaching inside Ukraine. The Patriot system is right on the border with Russia, and then it's shooting down Russian rockets right inside Russia. I mean, how else more you need to reach inside Russia? Into Moscow to start bombing Moscow? Putin is not there. Putin is far away, underground somewhere in a place safe. He speaks to people through television, through Zoom calls. Robin Schaffer, thank you for answering my question. What Putin meant when he talked about the oligarchs with their villas and yachts. The audience was smirking and whispering when he mentioned them. Because the audience was in the know. They knew exactly who was Putin addressing to, okay? It was not to the people, and the message was not about the people. It was just like, everyone knows who those guys were. Thank you so much. DJ, I am on Twitter, but I have an account, but I haven't posted it. I have so many social media. It's just I'd be spreading too thin. I don't even look at Instagram that much, Putin has lost the plot. He has lost everything. Dave Strains, howdy. Another oligarch was found dead, apparently. Isabel Legault, I haven't heard of that, but I will check into it. Bipolar man, did you respect Putin while you were living in Russia? I didn't really respect him, but I had a different opinion of him. Okay, and when I lived in the USA, my opinion of him was even better than, because he acted actually not too bad for the first 2 years, except um, he started destroying free press. Okay, it was the first sign, but it happened in the year of 2020, year 2000, 1 year after he became president. In the year 2000, he was absolutely normal. He was talking to Americans. He was um, he was applying to join NATO. He never said that NATO was a threat. He said, well, you know what, Russia is going to be part of NATO soon, and the world will be peaceful and stable and all of that. Then when 9/11 happened, Putin was the first one called George W. Bush and offered help. And George W. Bush did ask for help. He asked for Russia to open its airspace for American bombers and military transport planes, and Russia did so. And they flew straight into Afghanistan through Russian airspace, American warplanes. That's a big deal, and then Russia was cooperating in any way possible. So Putin was not who he is right now, okay? Did I respect him? Not really, but I was a different opinion of him. Seni, thank you so much. Thoughts about Russia reconstructing parts of Mariupol when Ukraine is receiving all the weapons they need for an attack? Waste of national budget? That's not a waste of national budget. Well, it is, but it's how people steal money, okay? They allocate billions of rubles, supposedly, to rebuild Mariupol, okay? And the companies who get the construction projects, of course, they're not just the companies of the street. They belong to the politicians, or they're connected to the politicians. And that money is allocated, and then billions and billions of rubles, perhaps billions of dollars, are being spent, but they're being stolen. 80 or 90% being stolen. Basically, they say, oh, built on paper, and then they might bomb it themselves, give a little kickback to the army, and say, well, Ukrainian rocket came and it destroyed what we built, okay? And this is basically how the Russian system works. Lots of people getting rich by stealing. Answering your question. Katerina S., well, great to see you. Long time no see. Thank you so much for coming. Konstantin, good evening to you and happy birthday to your mom. Please buy some roses to her. Warm greetings from Czech Republic. I did already. And thank you so much. I will buy something else nice. Katerina, thank you so much for coming. You will see mom soon. Sladjan Arsenovich, I'm happy to see people that honor the true. Best regards. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. And Larson, excellent message. Thank you. Swedish TV News sending live from Kyiv tonight. Greetings from Sweden, and a question: who might make a move for that power if Putin goes? Days Cube, again, like I said, I don't know. At this point, there are some contenders, but none of them will succeed because there will be new underdog, the guy that we don't know, and he's gonna pop up at the last minute, and he's gonna be the new guy. Jenna, apparently Putin said he can't get in Kiev, and Joe told him try the train. Mary Lou Cook, thank you so much. Me neither. Amir sending a message. I love this community and your message. Thank you so much, Amir. It's fantastic to have you on board. Lian, How do you feel the traitor warning will work out for the Russians with an honest opinion? Uh, well, the warning is the warning, you know. Um, they've done it before. They will do it in the future. I am not feeling well about that. I can't say that I'm afraid. I'm gonna die one way or another, but I would like to live for a little longer. Um, and it would be unfortunate if people would come and kill me for basically telling the truth. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not like a murderer. I'm not doing anything bad. Just telling the truth. I'm disagreeing with my government, but that's my country, and my government works supposed to work for me, right? And if they come and kill me for that, that'd be unfortunate. I don't want that. I'm not afraid, although I'm taking precautions as much as I can, and I'm definitely nervous about that. I'm getting increasingly nervous. A new person shows up at the breakfast club, and first thing I think, who's that guy or girl? You know, what's going on? And you know what? It's a terrible feeling. I hate it. I hate it. I really would like to be open to people, and this craziness is changing my attitude. So not good, not good at all. Mary Doran, thanking Jason Carney. Is it Carney or Kearney? I'm pronouncing Carney. Anyway, Jason, thank you so much again. Bruce Landley, thank you so much for your support as well. Michael Milkowitz in the house. Hello, Michael. Great to see you. Hope you're doing well. We pray for you every single day. Beam M. Maybe take a vacation in the Caribbean. Are you talking to me? I would love to. Yeah, would love to. I would love to. Jason has sent another support, $50. I don't know what to say. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate very much. Much needed these days and very, very appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, soon I'll be wrapping up. Time's up, yeah. It's been a tough stream. DJ, how is telecom doing in Russia since Ericsson and Nokia left? Well, Ericsson and Nokia, not a big deal, you know. The Chinese companies left. What you call it? Huawei. Lots of we call it land stations. You know, those huge antennas provide 3, 4G internet routers. You know, big servers. They're not doing well. They said that they're gonna increase price, and the government is pressuring them not to, because obviously price increase for your telecommunications, for internet, and for calls is going to hit the Russian people right away. Like price for bread, price for for things that you use every day. And the Russian government doesn't like that because that one might create more and more disappointment and anger in Russian people. So prices of car, no big deal. Prices for I don't know furniture for not first necessity goods, no big deal. But first necessity like sugar, salt, bread, flour, oil, gas, telecom, communications, telephone, internet, utilities. They're trying to keep them under control. Lorraine Prosnowski, yes, I will say happy birthday to mom. Robin Schaffer, do you know anything about Valentina Matvienko? Well, of course I do. She's the Speaker of the upper chamber of the parliament. I think she was in the front row and she literally looked like she had constipation. Painful for her listening to his lies. Well, she's a very good friend of Vladimir Putin. They started working together in the early 90s in the St. Petersburg mayorate when they were still young. So I don't think there's anything she hasn't heard before, okay? She's one of the people who are not naive. Let's put it this way. Terry, will Russian government have something to celebrate May 9th? Well, of course they'll celebrate May 9th. You know, they consider it the holy holiday now, patriotic stuff. And now they're going to combine World War II victory with what's happening, like they did last May 9th. What's happening in Ukraine. Just absolutely nuts. Wayne, restoring the USSR means Uzbekistan and Georgia and Poland. My friend, then I'm gonna take Poland. That's for sure. They're gonna break their teeth if they try to bite off Poland. Uzbekistan, Georgia, probably not. Probably. You know what? They're so weak, they can't even control the situation inside Russia, let alone take other countries. Russian army will be incapable for decades to come. And I think after all this is all done, the West will make sure that the Russian army will never become strong again. Because that's what I think, at least. James, Joel's Rames, look at the messenger. I sent you a good video to watch. Which one? Facebook? I will check it out. I'm a rare guest there, but I'll check it out. Yes. KG1, is Uzbekistan safe for you and other refugees? So far, so good. So far is safe, but who knows? Pine the chair, do you think that was the real Putin at the concert today or his body double? I have no clue. California Mountain Girl, did the missile test really fail? If so, why? Well, we in Russia don't know because no one tells us. They would have told us it was a success, but they don't tell us if it's a failure, right? But I do trust the US media. I do trust when they say abroad that it failed because Russia has actually filed notification with the USA. USA knew that Russia was going to conduct a test. And such an irony. It shows you the sad state of things in the Russian military. When Sarmat, that they're so proud of, blah, 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 it fails. Oh, that's a bad message they sent. But the idea was, we're gonna test when Biden is in Kiev. Well, yeah, right. Scott Erickson from Minneapolis, USA. Great message as usual. Thank you, Scott. I am restocking popcorn. Will regime change be good for ordinary Russians or just the elites? I hope it's gonna be good for ordinary Russians, but I'm not sure. And unfortunately, it's not gonna be like boom, like 91. Oh, it's changed. It might even be a civil war. Might be lots of blood. Might be some bad things happening. I don't know, but definitely, Russia is on the verge of being reformatted. Mine ever, thank you. Lorraine Brosnowski, thank you so much. I see that some people say congratulations to mom. Thank you so much. She's watching and she'll watch tomorrow too. I'll tell her thank you, thank you, thank you. Check the playlist. Anatoly Golitsyn, Russian patriot #1 Soviet defector, warned about this. The majority of the Russian Federation deputies have Israeli citizenship. Deputies, you mean senators? Um, that's true. That just shows you that there's something very rotten and stinking in the kingdom of Dutch. Lynn Prigozhin confirmed lack of military equipment. You come back and watch the stream tomorrow. There's a dogfight going on. There's much more than that. Frank Miller. Frank, thank you so much. Yeah, wrapping up. Oh, it's quite a stream. My friends, thank you again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's my prayer book. There are a couple new names on it. Thank you. I invite everyone to pray with me. I finish my streams with prayer, and if you're religious, please join. If you're not, please join anyway, because we're sending good wishes, good energy, good vibes. You call it whatever you want to people, and we're asking God for help and support and protection and to end the war in Ukraine. So please join us. Thank you. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for you giving us this life, for you giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables. Thank you for putting roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who will love and who love us. Please help our children, keep them healthy, safe, and put peaceful skies over their heads. Give us wisdom to provide these peaceful skies and lead them with examples, so when they grow up, they will become people who will make this world a better place and will never engage into wars. Dear God, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and people suffered enough. The bloodshed needs to stop. Reach out and touch people who you know, to reach out and touch. Fill their the hearts with love. Fill the heads with common sense. Fill their souls with mercy, empathy. Give them forgiveness so they make decision to stop the bloodshed. Please help everyone who has been affected in Ukraine. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Send angel to every person to protect and watch over, so everyone is kept out of harm's way and not a single drop of blood is shed anymore. Please help my country, Russia. Send the army of strongest angels with sharpest swords led by Saint Michael to get rid of the demons who have hijacked and doing bad things to my people and other people in other countries. Have angels run Russia and make it peaceful, make it good, make it a good neighbor to everyone again. Thank you so much for sending help to everyone who is traveling, sending them safe travels. Please help those who are seeking for asylum, especially families with kids. Please help them. Help those who are hungry, homeless, hopeless, sick, losing their faith, jobless, not feeling well, depressed. Please send your love. Surround them with your warmth. Make them feel important. Make them feel good, so they come back to happiness. Please give us all peaceful skies and our children's safety and good health are the most important things we have in our lives. And we only realize how much they mean to us once we lose them, when we lose them. So please give us wisdom to keep our skies peaceful. Give us strength to do that. Give us love to do that. And give us wisdom. And please watch over our children. Please help everyone who is in Ukraine without electricity, hot water, heat. Send those people your help in any way possible. I am asking for all pregnant women who are making decision to keep their babies or not. Reach out and talk to them, please, so they make the right choice. Thank you so much for this community. Thank you very much for allowing us to get together, do these live streams, and at the end pray together. Please help everyone who is praying and just simply watching us pray. Make everyone's wish come true and answer everyone's prayers. I would like to ask for some people who need your help. They are the ones who have been affected and the victims of the earthquake in Turkey. Please help them. Wayne, fighting cancer. Please send recovery and strength. Shirley, Debbie, Jen Allen, Finola, Lars Henrik's mother, Lars Henrik, the highwayman, Amanda, Essie from the Scottish Isles, Outlander and family, Choriz and family, David Porter and his wife and daughter, and all people who are in Chernovtsi, Ukraine, Lars, Susan Marshall, Beulah, Lazarus, Boss Simon, Alvin's sister, Teresa D, Marsha Tucker, Garcia Castellanos, Terry Carter, Joe McMahon, Meta Spencer, Deanna and family, Breeze Friend, Albina Fell, Joel, Life, Karin Vasseur, Michael Yukon, Pamela J, Elena, Natasha, Jake, Michael, Oля, Dasha, Sky, Bonnie, Galina, Igor, Karen from Maine, Janine, Michael Milkevitz, Marlene, Paul Bins, Richard, Mallory M, Dirk Misler, James Rhodes, Terry, Brittany S, Lars Henrik, Hannah and Children, Richard Burris, Angelica at Life, and Scan Family Grandson, Grace, Barb, Randolph, Nelly, Arkady, and Yuri in Mykolaiv, and everyone who's in Mykolaiv, Ukraine, Harry's family, Verlinda's niece, Ian James, Doug, Rafaela From, and her daughter Anna, Priscilla, Michelin, King Nero, Gibby Hyman, Donald, Deborah, Lisa's son, Jade, Allison Dave Moyers, Maureen M. and her sister, Mr. Hanson, Heidi, Bob, Tony, Kayleen, Rob, Umel, Jennifer, Matt, Ashley and family, Mr. Dean Spooner, and his church called Our Savior Lutheran Church, Lisa Cumbrian, Jacob, Adam Oliver, Amy, Treasure, Kyle's wife, Grace Philosophy, her grandchildren and her family, Maggie, Carmen's sister, Vladislav and his father Sergey, Susie Myler, Gina, Wayfarer, AMS paramedic Liz, Lori Miles' husband, Sherry, Layla, Philip's mother, I'd like to ask for special children. They are Cadence, Maverick, Sebastian, Coulter, Theo, Maddie, Ansley, and the niece of Karin Vasseur. Please help them. Send recovery, send their families strength, send them good health, please. Also asking for all children who have been affected in Ukraine, and all families, and all children who have been affected in Russia. Thank you very much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. My friends, thank you very much for coming, giving me a chance again. I really appreciate it. You're awesome and you rock. I really get inspired from the streams, from talking to you, from getting the feedback and comments and questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please come back for tomorrow. There will be a good message, I hope, an interesting one. And as usual, before I go, I'd like everyone to say it out loud along with me. Carthago delenda est.